And everyone, we are live. Thank you for your patience. A lot been going on. I had things to do. Big Dean from Black Box Productions had a lot to do himself, so we will explain all that. We got a lot to talk up. I know you guys been chomping at the bit. So here we are. Mr. Dean Whyte, man, how you doing, man? Happy New Year's, Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, all that good stuff. How you been doing?
Yes, my bro. I'm just chilling, man. All is good. All is good. I've been very, very busy. Um, it's Black Box Global. Just for your
Black
information, not Black Box
Box
Production,
Global.
but
Got you.
it's all good. I know you had good intentions, but yeah, we're rolling. All the talk of the past that we was planning pre-COVID that this was something we was gonna do. We've got it up and running. We've got two production and two promotions under our belt, and we're officially promoters. We're officially in the promotional game, and we've had two mega events. With grassroots boxing, and the first show we had 9 fighters, and I think this show we had 11 bouts. I've got a third one penciled in for May the 14th, and we're gonna have around the same 10 to 12 bouts, but this time we're gonna have some title fights on the card. We should have a Southern area title. I'm talking to the WBO and I'm talking to the WBC for some international titles, Asian titles for one of the guys who I train and manage, Tony Banj, and a few of the other guys. Another guy named Martin Farouk maybe wants to fight for a title. So, we're well and truly underway, man. You know what I mean? God is good, man. We pushed the team behind me. Without them, obviously, it's not possible because those guys are the ones that work and push. I'm the mouthpiece, but at the same time, you know what I mean? We all play our part and kind of do things. Mhm.
So you so you think because of the shutout, because the UK was under lockdown like the whole month of January, you think that actually helped or did it hurt
I,
what you're doing right now as far as your
I think
potential?
I do not. I think it worked out well because I think I was looking to go the end of January, and I think it worked out better that it was like one of the first shows back. I think it was the second show back, kind of like after the lockdown in January, and probably everyone was like looking forward to just getting back to normality, just trying to live
Right.
up. Is like big up Dean Brixton representing. Come on, big up Richard Johnson, man. You don't know. So you know, I feel like everyone wanted to be outside, everyone wanted to get out, everyone wanted to be, even all the fighters, they wanted to be active. Happy fighters are active fighters. So them being active, the better they are, the better they're going to perform. And the guys, I trained some of the guys who actually fought on there. So I was happy with their performances. And they're getting better and better because we had one last year and that was more into the lockdown. It opened up, but there were still restrictions. And then slowly now, we're coming into a place where the restrictions have been totally lifted. And now,
Right.
we're in a good space, man, where everything's back to normal. They've moved on with Plan B, or whatever
Plan B,
those- and something else is going on. I don't even want to go into any of that anyway, but they've moved on to
right?
something else, you know what I mean? But look, we're happy. We're fortunate that, these shows have been really, really good. We've paid attention to detail in the production. We're giving these guys a good platform, you know what I mean? And that's what we want to separate ourselves from the small stuff and make sure, you know, it's a good look. Yes,
That's
my big
good,
man.
man. You've been
Yeah,
making a
man.
lot of buzz over there, man. You've been making a lot of buzz over there. You've been talking about this for a while. Like Deontay Wilder says, speak it, believe it, receive it. You're speaking it, you
Absolutely.
believed it, and now you're receiving it. So congratulations on Black
Thanks very
Box
much, man.
Global
Come
Productions.
on, listen. It's
Okay.
only it's only inevitable that this was going to go down because look, this is a sports. There's a lot of black sports athletes, but we don't have the representation in the management front, in the promoter side. So, for me, I'm looking at it, and I've been talking to people and trying to make relationships and get in the door with some of these people, and there's a lot of handshakes, good smiles, but sometimes things are a little bit slow. And then I just thought to myself, you know what? I need to become some mover and shaker and get involved in this and help. break that ice and the diversity for the sport of boxing. So, you know, we decided, you know, that this is something, and having fighters, if you're managing them, promoting, you want an outlet for them. You want somewhere to be able to get them out on a show, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
this was something I wanted to do. And this, I love boxing. I love the sport of boxing. I love talking it. I love watching it. I love supporting all the smallest show to the biggest show. And I give it all my time and a lot of effort. So, you know, you get what you pay for. You put your time and you get the rewards. And that's what it is. So now we're just going on and doing things. And like now we're getting the people coming to me, you know, wanting to put their fighters on the show, you know, wanting to maybe do co-promotions or, you know, offering stuff and saying, you know, we've got this boy, good ticket seller. Can you do this? You know, people want outlets. You know what I mean? And they know when, you know, I bring a good crowd as well, because like, you know, we're bringing the demographic, we're bringing this cosmopolitanness of the UK. Everyone kind of listens the same music, wears the same kind of clothes, you know, that kind of thing. So, you know, when you go to the Super Bowl, there's many different demographics, whites, black, Asians, everyone listens, you know, in America, listens similar music, wears similar clothes. It's a bit like that here. But in America, there's black guys in higher positions out there. We don't have that here too much, you know what I mean? And I kind of use the example of Meek Mills and, was it the Dallas Cowboy chairman rolling? Was it him, the owner? Was that who was rolling with him? Who helped him get, was it, you know what I mean? You would never get that. You won't get the Tottenham owner rolling with some local rapper, Tion Wayne. That ain't gonna, like, you know, therefore, it's not gonna happen. You know what I mean? We need to start ownership. We need to start owning stuff here. Who's that fanboy, Jay? Yeah, man, big up, man. Come on, we're gonna try and do that, man. You know, it's all good. But I'm saying we need to try and have ownership. We need to try and bring in people who want to be part of a movement, who want to be part of something. And I want to try and bring on people that can help them, give them jobs, and all work together and build something. We need to have ownership. It's very important. I mean,
No, absolutely. I agree. And like you said, you never see the owner riding riding with the players. It doesn't. That's something you don't hear about. You know what I mean? It's just they're at one tier, and everyone else is a totally different tier. So that's how it is over here in the U.S. of A. in the states across the pond, however you want to call it. You know. But no, man. Big up to you. Mad respect for what you're doing over there. Keep doing what you're doing. And like I said, you know, the more you do and the more people see what you do, they're going to want to be a part of it. So, you know,
absolutely.
and they see the professionalism and they see the hard work you put in. So, no, man, big up to you all together. I wanted to get you in earlier, but better late than never. I'm glad you're here because a lot of people ask me, man, what's going on with Dillian Whyte? What's going on with Tyson Fury? Why did Dillian Whyte show up? Tell me your counterpunch on this whole debacle. What happened?
So, well, I will try and give you as much as I can without
Okay.
any reference and putting anything at risk, because Dillian and these guys still have a court case and have an arbitration that's going on. So we got to be mindful of what I say and what I put out there. And probably I'll just talk about what they've actually explained and what they've let out and give out as much. So this whole situation, this debacle, whatever it is, this whole mess, these guys, for one, do not have no respect, and they're not showing Dillian Whyte this respect he deserves as an elite fighter, one, that's sold out pay-per-view events on 6 occasions. I've said 5 there, but let's put one more just so in case people go, hey, that was 5. So 6 occasions. He's done the O2, he's done Manchester, and he's even fought on one of the Joshua undercards. He fought in Saudi. He's fought on many, many big cards, and he's conducted business throughout the years and done good business, done good pay-per-view numbers, and sold out these arenas on many occasions. So that's one factor when we're looking at the negotiation, when you're talking. So Dillian is not a normal man that goes into a mandatory position and they say, oh, 80-20 split. We must look at what the special circumstances for this guy is, why the WBC should have allowances to do something different. Tyson Fury has done no pay-per-view shows here at all. He's done some in America. Obviously, Wilder helped extremely a lot because he was fighting an American fighter. So that helped. They did on the second one, I think 7,000 tickets, and they struggled a lot. I don't think, what's he saying? Simon Brady, who's in the, well, no, if Dillian understands, he knows his value, so he should be respected. And normally, when you're a interim world champion, they say you can get up to 45%.
40,
Even
yeah,
if they were much as 30 and 70, 35, 65, that's one thing. But then I think Frank Warren mentioned it today. This is where they're really kind of taking the piss. Dillian was offered 3 of his members to come to fly on a Ryanair plane to come to a press conference. Ryanair is the equivalent to, what's the cheapest airlines you have in America?
Spirit.
Spirit, yeah. so that was his. This is someone who's an elite fighter who tends to fly here on a private jet. When they do their press conferences back and forth and so on. It's very disrespectful, to be honest, the way they're treating him, because what they're looking at is, oh, we're paying you this money. No, I'm worth the money, because now you're concerned because I'm not doing the part to promote this fight, to make you this money back. Now you need me to help you sell this fight. Tyson Fury doesn't just sell this fight by himself, I'm afraid. Dillian plays his part to help sell this fight. If you want a happy fighter, be respectful and give them the little latitude and little things that will help push this on as smooth as possible. So if there is a happy fighter, you deal with them and be graceful and do have a little bit of latitude to say, well, you know what, we'll give concessions here where we can and there's so much other small things. Ryanair, they're still in the business, maybe, but hey, look, I don't think he flies Ryanair. I don't fly Ryanair, and I'm not even nothing to do with him. It's just that, I've got my own money and I don't really just think it's not for me. I'd rather I go to Heathrow. I'm happy with Heathrow, maybe Gatwick if that is it. But everyone's got their points. But what I'm saying is they wouldn't allow Tyson Fury to fly Ryanair. And if this was on a matchroom card, if Eddie won, he wouldn't be allowed to say to Tyson Fury, you have to fly EasyJet or Ryanair. It's very disrespectful. It's condescending. It doesn't make any sense. It's not something what you want to do. You know what I mean? Yes, right, my guy, right. Big up, man. Was it Hun Icky Don? Big up, man. But look, obviously, we're the bad guys because, or Dillian's the bad guy because they say, he doesn't just play to the tune, the fiddle. You get what I'm trying to say? But what we must understand in business, 2 parties need to be happy for contracts and business to be done and be happy with. Even now that the contracts are signed, there's still stipulations that aren't done yet, and that was said in the newspaper also. So I feel like people should be more sympathetic and understand. They might look on the outside and say, oh, Dillian Whyte's getting $8 million, but Tyson Fury's getting over 20. What is Tyson do that he deserves so much more? Why? They could have gone to even 10 and said, you know what, Dillian, we're going to give you your 10. Let's shut you up. How about that? We're going to give you your 10. We're going to sort you out a plane. We're going to give, and there's so many, that if you want this to go off the ground smoothly and you lot are so happy, why wouldn't you want him to play the game so he comes and sells the fucking fight? And there's so much roadblocks behind what's going on, what people don't know about. I can't really go into that, but there's a lot of railroading, man. There's a lot of shit behind it, and people are just looking at, oh, he should go and do this because he's getting this, and you know what I mean? It doesn't go like that. Listen, Dillian doesn't have to do anything. His money's guaranteed. That's what it is. His money's guaranteed. Like they're saying, Frank Warren said today, Dillian doesn't even get an upside in the pay-per-view. So why does he promote? Exactly. That's something he's not used to dealing with in all of these fights. He gets an upside on the pay-per-view side. This is an elite fighter, and there's bare roadblock and putting him into corners. But Frank Warren he mentioned it today. That's what he said Dillian's upset about. He said, well, if Dillian wanted to get an upside, why wouldn't his promoter have, won the purse bid? But, Eddie has his reasoning for the things Eddie does. I agree with that. I think Eddie should have pulled out a little bit more of the stops, but, it is what it is. But then you see Warren going on talking about 2-0 with 1-2 purse bids. Eddie doesn't do anything without reason. You know what I mean? He put up as much as he wanted to put up because he felt like that was what the fight was worth. Those guys paid over the odds. Now more fool them because they're going to have to make sure they sell this fight to make it, which I don't believe they're going to make the money back. I think they're going to be on the losing side. I think they'll come up short, and especially as they didn't help Dillian Whyte to have a nice run. They weren't, polite enough and respectful enough. So now he's going to do them no favors. And even they were saying, we're not going to do him any favors equally, but he's not going to do them no favors. And he's not going to try and help sell this fight. Why should he? Tyson Fury just talks a lot of shit. Oh, I'm going to retire after this. I made 150 million. How did you make 150 million? You tell everyone you give all your money to charity. So how the fuck have you got 150 million? Go figure.
Mm. So the question, right, Dillian Whyte was going to come, but then they tried to put him on some bullshit flight. Is that what I'm hearing?
Exactly.
So why didn't so when they told him we're going on what's the name? Ryanair? Like, we're gonna put you on at Ryanair. Okay. So at that point, Dillian Whyte was like, you know what? Never mind, because that's disrespectful or whatnot.
Listen, no one, them Ryanair days, I'm sorry. I don't know what he said or what he thought. No one travels on, I don't travel on Ryanair. This is an elite fighter with his team. It's just not, the treatment is horrible. This is not how you would treat an elite fighter. And then you're going to risk Dillian Whyte potentially catching COVID, and then having to call the fight off and leave even more money. Why would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you just want to keep the fighter happy? It makes no sense. Oh, who's this here? Jermaine Rogers Blake. Dillian has been cheated on. Yeah, a good example of upcoming fighters, everything. Are you saying, the Black Box show at last was a cold event, Dean? Thanks very much. Appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, we aim to please, man. We're trying to give back to people when they come to the shows and make sure they get great value for money. You know what I mean?
Well, so the problem is, at no point did they try to salvage him coming. They didn't say, okay, hey, we'll put you in first class. We'll put you on British, Merit US. So at no time did they try to make an effort to be like, okay, Dean, what could we do for you to get you out here? Since it was, you know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. See, my understanding was, I thought that Dillian wasn't coming. And I'm like, well, if he wasn't coming, how did I know, or why didn't I know, or why didn't anyone know that he wasn't coming? Now you're saying that he was intending to come, but they wanted to put him on some bullshit flight that, like you say, could risk his health, his well-being, and it's a cheap flight like Spirit Air is over here, or Frontier, because they are both piss poor airlines. So that's what I think about when I think of Ryanair. I think of Spirit, and Spirit's absolutely horrible. It's horrific. It really is. And then, like, I wouldn't recommend it for anybody. I mean, they charge for everything extra. You can't even get a drop of water on that.
Exactly.
But you want this guy to get on that plane. So I can relate, because if I get on a flight, if I get booked for a show and they say, hey, would you take Spirit? I said, no, how about American? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? How about anywhere else?
Yeah. It's funny because on the same interview where I'm getting all of this information from, a little bit of it as well, from what I can relate, because it's out in the public domain somewhat, you know what I mean? Frank Warren said, oh, we decided and changed at the last minute, and we said to him, we will get him a private jet to bring him back and forth. I don't know how true that is, but Dillian, in the first place, if that was the case, that is something you should have done in the first place. As class, as someone that understands what's on the line, I need to get my $41 million back. Let me treat this man with the utmost respect, make sure he's safe, he's sound, he gets it healthy and well, and we get a great press conference. These guys talk a lot of smack, sell the fight, and this is how I get my money back. There has to be a way that, if you spent 41 million, just having a concession where you're saying, all right, we're going to move some numbers around to give him an extra couple mil, this wouldn't have been nothing. And then that way there would have been, but listen, my friend, I'm sure it's all going to come out later on, but there's a lot of bullshit that's going on. I promise you. And it's just like, most people, obviously it's a lot of money, so he's not going to just turn it down, but a lot of people will be like, bro, that is some super bullshit, you know what I mean? But look, these guys got their plans, they've got their thing. they think they can sell it and do it all without Dillian. Fair enough. But people are going to come because it's an all-British clash. Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury. But Dillian's doing a good thing, being silent, training, sticking away, and make sure he's going to come in the best shape possible. And, you know, he deserves this. Is his everything. This is his WBC World Title shot, which he's been waiting for over 1,000 days and beyond and whatnot. But then there's a loads of shenanigans going on. As we know, there's an arbitration still there, and I think that's going to come up this month. So, you know, let's see what happens. That's going to be that's going to be you know, something that's going to be beholden, because hopefully there's going to be some good information coming out of that, and then things might start to change up, and he might be in better spirits. But at the same time, if you treat people like shit and you want them to respond in what kind, you know what I mean?
Right. Well, I mean, I guess that was his response. Like, hey, I'm not coming. You know, so
it's bullshit. It's bullshit. I feel like the best thing to do is, they normally say, your parents, you say, if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. You understand? So
right,
I think
right.
he's doing the right thing. And it's really getting to Tyson Fury, because he's now talking so much bullshit. What was he saying? Dude, I was kind of pissed at Eddie. Who's that useful idiot? I was kind of pissed at Eddie that he didn't win the purse bid, because I thought it was, if this was Joshua, that would never happen.
Right.
He would put
I do agree with that. Yeah.
If it was Canelo, like it is, he ran Canelo down to the end of the earth, it wouldn't have happened. These kind of guys, and I get it though, because you see these guys, they sell out everywhere they go. They don't need no push, you know what I mean, to sell out these arenas, them boys. I get it. But you're number 2 biggest star, and you don't go all the way and push. So Frank's right on that notion, but I don't know. Look, it's sad that he didn't. You got Frank Warren now, they've won. And he says, obviously, because he's won, he's in control, which is right. He's in control. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, they're the flute masters, and they're doing their thing. And they are literally trying to, you know, put everything to the line as being as tight as they can with every single thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Because if you put up that much money to win a purse bid, you broke records, you won, you accomplished what you went out to accomplish, but then yet you pull some bullshit about some flight airline that we never heard of, and you want to put the premier fighter, the challenger, the WBC interim champion on this flight. It just shows you that you probably don't have any money left. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
that's another scary thing. That's another topic. We're gonna have to do a whole another show. You're gonna have to check the history of the Warrens.
oh wow. Well, you know what? We can do that when I get back, because I will be back Friday or whatnot. So I don't depends on what you're doing Friday. I'll probably be available that rest of that weekend. But yeah, man, this is enlightening, because I was like, where the hell is Dillian? Because it was 8 o'clock. No, it was before 8. So this conference came in on before 8 o'clock. So I got there, Frank Warren, some other guy, and then another guy. I'm like, okay, well, where's Dillian Whyte? And I see Tyson Fury talking. Well, where is he? And I'm thinking, well, maybe he's late. He's this and that. So I was like, okay, where the hell is Dillian? Okay, because I didn't know that he wasn't going to show up. Now they're trying to put him on these bullshit flights. You still have arbitration. They expect him, off the strength of what he's done in the UK, to sell this fight, because they're expecting, because Bob Arum's expecting 1 million pay-per-view buys on ESPN. He may or may not get it. I don't know, because Dillian Whyte's not a U.S. fighter. Tyson Fury's not a successful U.S. fighter, okay, being originally from the UK. But they expect this, and now you tell me, well, all they had to do was put him on a proper airline. I understand what you're saying. It could have been an easier way. You could have buttered that up, and if you had a better PR team, your PR team could have made that shit happen. Dillian Whyte should have been there today. He should have been there, because it's like all the aggression.
So let me interject. I can't say it's just that alone that would have made it happen. There's probably little other things, you know, that broke the donkey's back, that was just like, enough's enough with these busters. You know what I'm saying? But that was one of the things which was like, the disrespect is just continuing to go on. And I can't be any part of this. Either way how this goes, my money is secure. I don't need to do none of these stuff. Turn up for fight night, turn up for the last press conference, turn up for the weigh-in. smoke somebody's ass. That's it. You know what I mean? Even if win, lose, or draw, he's getting the same money. That's it. His money is guaranteed. He doesn't need to do all the shenanigans. So, you know, but for them to get their money back, they need the Dillian Whyte roadshow. So they should have been more respectful, I think.
So you think from this first tier of press conference, since this is the first press conference where Dillian Whyte told everybody where to go and where he's at, do you think they'll wise up? Do you think that he will go to the next press conference, or you think he's going to continue the Maverick showdown?
I don't know how many press conferences they want to have. Maybe they want to do a tour and go around, but what they got to understand is, what do they want Dillian to pay for this? So let's figure this out. Of all this moving around, all this touring, and they want to take him away from a training camp, the biggest fight of his life, who is paying for him to go here with his team, travel around and promote this bandwagon and stuff? If he's not getting any pay-per-view upside, what is the point of him doing all that? Makes no sense. Okay, obviously the fans, I know they're going to be shortful, but this is not something Dillian Whyte's done before. And obviously it's upsetting to some people, but they must understand this is a business also, you know? Gotcha. You're not going to go and do overtime for your job if they're not going to pay you for it, are you? I mean,
yeah, I was unaware that he wasn't getting any upside. If he wins, he will get what, a couple more million, right?
That's what they say, yeah.
But then for promoting it, he's absolutely getting nothing because there's no upside for him coming anyway. So
there's nothing to nothing. So why doesn't he just keep himself in the gym, focusing on the task at hand, and everything's just A-okay? So it's the same. I get my purse. When I win, I get a bit upside there, but everything else, it doesn't matter. But I just need to concentrate, get in the best shape possible. Other than that, there's none of this rest of this stuff. He probably would have still came, but it's just the disrespect and the other stuff behind it. But look, let's see if, you know, these lot got 2 months or just over a month, just over under 2 months to rectify stuff. Right. But I heard Frank Warren saying, well, with this kind of games, if he thinks we're going to do him any favors, he'll find out the hard way. So they're already looking to start doing more bullshit. So I don't think they've learned their lesson anyway. Well, or maybe they think Dillian's not learned these lessons, so we'll find out. There's always two sides to the story, I guess.
So, as far as you know right now, how is Dillian? How is Dillian in training? How is he focused? How is he ready? How does he look?
No, he seems right. He seems right. He's always training. Looks like he's training hard. I'm going to try to go over there in a couple of weeks this month. I've got to go over there, kind of do my little bit, go and assess, see where he's at. Because I need to know. I'd like to know where he's at, what they're doing, and just make sure he's in the right shape. He's doing the right things. What I'd think he should be doing. You know what I mean? He knows boxing, man. He knows how to box. He knows how to fight. One thing with him. He doesn't really need many people telling him stuff. What he sometimes needs to do is probably hone it in. Hopefully he doesn't overtrain. No, it is, because every coach that's been there has always said his worst thing is him overtraining. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, when the arbitration, if that's finalized, what would happen to would that affect the split at all? Would that affect the money at all?
I'm assuming it would affect that. I'm assuming. I don't have the answer, but I'm sure, there must be something to do with that. This is a good one. He said Tyson Fury didn't turn up to the press conference, the second Klitschko. Tyson Fury's done a lot of bullshit in his time. He didn't even want to fight Klitschko at the second time. I think he pulled out. David Haye, I don't know if it was David Haye pulled out in those fights, the two fights. What else? Deontay Wilder.
The third fight. Yeah, that was
to get in the ring. Even this, I'm sure that he was forced into this fight with Dillian because he didn't want to take this fight with Dillian. For whatever reason it was, he did not want to take this fight, and he was forced into this because of the mandatory position and the other things that was going on. But look, those are stuff I'm sure will come out and we'll find more information on later,
Hey, man, well, I'll tell you, the most important thing is he signed the dotted line. I know other questions have arisen. Will he pull out? Do you think Dillian Whyte will ever pull out of the fight due to the disrespect?
No, we need to be concerned Tyson Fury don't pull out. That is a Tyson Fury thing. He's done that many, many times. Remember, he said he got COVID the other day. He pulled out. He probably wasn't fit enough. That's why he didn't. Listen, the man's got stories for days.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense. I do remember the COVID story. I didn't believe it based on what he was doing, based on the time frame that the time he said he had COVID versus the time that he was doing this, that, and the other.
Exactly.
Then he left the country. I'm like, well, who leaves the country when you got COVID? I do remember that.
And you got isolate
And
as
then
well.
right, but then you do remember when the fight was over after he defeated Deontay Wilder. They said, and his father said what type of shitty condition he was in.
Mhm.
So, if you take all that and you go back and you look at it in hindsight, I can understand why they probably needed more time versus the January the 24th versus October the 9th, because the
Mhm.
9th is when they actually fought, but the 24th was the original date. So when they
Mhm.
said, "Oh, he has COVID," I'm like, "COVID? What the hell?" And then he didn't take the vaccine, and he didn't do this, and then he didn't know he didn't do this, and they didn't know that it made him sick the first time. So it was a lot of things we didn't know. I think that was a shit show, and I think the communication was horrible in that time. But in this situation, the only person, according to yourself, you should worry about is Tyson Fury pulling out, not Dillian Whyte. So we're gonna see a fight. That's basically all I really want to hear about.
Listen, I don't. Listen, we got us a fight, man. You know the deal. This
Okay.
guy, that's what he. We got us a fight. It's done, it's sealed. Now we just gotta, we gotta go through this camp. Dill's got to go through this camp and be the best and be as sharp and be as strong, and just be prepared for this big old unit talking. I knew he was gonna talk about all this wrestling and leaning on him, his weight and this and that, and that's what they need to. They need to know. I'm sure Dill is aware, but he needs to know that that's what this guy is gonna do. So he needs to equally prepare for that side of the rustle and tussle in there, which drain you. We used to do wrestling for years back in the day, all the time, clinching, and holding. I don't know how much they're doing it now. I think they do it here and there, but that's something he definitely wants to implement because it's a very draining thing to do, that clinching thing. And in these big fights, in a cauldron of a fight that's of the magnitude, it will kind of drain you if you're not prepared. That Fury's talking about, he's going to come in and 25 stone and all that and lean all over him.
Got you. Got you. So you think this is extra pressure on Tyson Fury today since he had to be there by himself, or you think he's
Tyson
just
Fury's a madman, man. He entertained himself. That was funny. He had his own face off. Look, he's wild, that guy. What's this? John Fury couldn't be next to Fury because of COVID, but was next to him. Couldn't be next to him on the table, but he was still
yeah?
stood with him when he got COVID. So the game's a myth anyway, man. Who knows what's going on, man? This.
Mm. Well, I don't judge like that. I just know more time, and people or people have used COVID as an excuse for the last 2 years to
Many
get
people.
whatever they want. Many people. So if he used it, fair play to him. I mean, he got the job done. He beat Deontay Wilder for the third time, even though he already done that the year before that. So, but anyway, what I mean? He used it when he used it. So, at the end of the day, I don't hold grudges. But no, man, I'm so glad that you cleared up a lot of stuff. Um, I don't know if there's any questions anybody wants to ask Mr. Dean while he's here for the next, I don't know, 5 minutes or so. So if you have any good questions to ask, this would be
Maybe
the
two.
time to ask them. Maybe two. So we chopped that in half.
Oh,
Forget
it's
five,
late. I need to
chop
go
two
eat
and a
my.
half.
I need to go eat my dinner, man. I'm hungry. It's here.
Hey man, I heard that. I got mine already in the
But to meet.
nookum. Yeah, yeah, meatloaf, man. Meatloaf is in there. Um, okay, let's see. Gentleman's game. Let's see. Um, will you keep an eye on Fury on fight? Because if any cheating or any funny business. Oh,
Yeah, we're gonna have to keep an eye on him because crafty git, and he's done. He's known for. We've heard all the talks about the fiddling with the gloves and other things he does, but I don't know. Listen, we're gonna try and keep an eye on him as much as possible and see what he's up to.
okay. One last one, and that is from J.E. Prodigal Son. White is in Fury's head rent free. Get him, Dillian. Do you think that's the case? Do you think because Dillian White didn't show up, it was an advantage for Dillian, or was it an advantage for Tyson Fury promoting himself because he likes to hear himself talk?
No, listen, I think Tyson Fury is livid. He's raging. They're all losing the plot. They're ripping their hair out. I think BT Sport is losing the plot because they're thinking, shit, what are we gonna do? Dillian, he's not turned up. Is he gonna turn up for the fight? You know what I mean? So remember, this is going to be one of their biggest moments in boxing because Matchroom have been cleaning the floor with these lot. You know what I mean? Matchroom have been cleaning the floor with them. So this is the moment, man. This is their little swan song. This is their moment to do big business. They're not bad. They're not bad. They're good. They've been there a long time, Queensby. You've got to give them credit for what they've done, man. But the business side now, and there's this lack of respect. We need to put a stop. We need to put this rubber line underneath it.
I got a question for you. What do you think would have happened if this was totally reversed? If Eddie Hearn would have won the purse bid, how would this been conducted versus Eddie Hearn compared to Frank Warren? How Frank Warren's doing it?
There's some things that ain't come out yet, but I think they wouldn't have done this. What they're doing to Dillian, they wouldn't have done the same thing. Just put it that way. They wouldn't have done it to Fury. That's what I know.
Okay, so as far as the tickets or the plane rides or the accommodations or none of that would have been done. It would have been more lenient.
It would have been different. I don't know about the splits and all that, but there's certain things that just wouldn't have been done. But look, these guys are having their fun at the minute, and they're embellishing in the moment because it's their moment. They're right. It's their moment. They won the purse bid, so they're embellishing in that moment and enjoying it, and maybe crossing the line a little bit. But God willing, obviously, Dillian does what he needs to do and give Tyson Fury a hiding and make him pay.
Man. So I hope to see press conferences because I personally love build up. But hey, most importantly,
I know what you mean. I liked it myself.
when I seen Derek Chisora throw that chair at Dillian Whyte and they got all that started, or when David Hay glossed.
He glossed me. Trust me.
I'm going to shoot you. David Hay, I am going to shoot you. And and the funny thing is he meant every word of that at that time.
Yeah,
like
probably
every word. So that was that's build up because those fights did numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And the buzz around it kept everyone like, damn, did you hear this? Did you hear what happened about that? You know what I mean? So, but the most important thing is we've seen a fight. Mr. Dean Whyte, I thank you for coming in. We got to do this again sooner than we did last time.
Yeah, come on,
thank you, everybody, the hundreds that showed up for this exclusive interview with Mr. Black Box Global. What's that?
I said thank you to all the people that tuned in and listening, man. Big up you people that took your time out, man. Come on, man. Counterbox. Was it Counterpunch Boxing?
Yes. Counterpunch Boxing. Black Box Global Productions.
Come on.
Thank you for coming in, brother. Coming
all right,
in.
My bro.
We got to do it again. Get you something to eat, and we will see you on the next street.
All right. Take care.
Okay, man. Peace.
What's up?
All right, guys. Man, that was something to see. I'm glad that you guys came by. I gotta take a flight, but this was by far one of the best interviews I've had with Dean. I'm glad he cleared up a lot of things about Dillian Whyte and the arbitration and the accommodations that were piss poor. So Dillian Whyte wasn't there. Just a synopsis, a breakdown. I'm glad you guys took the patience with me. And stuck in. And you guys, thank you again for coming. You guys tell me what you think in the comments below. You guys tell me about Dean Whyte, about Dillian's absence, about Tyson Fury. Will Dillian Whyte do that again? Will he go down the same path as he did before? Will he take the absent treatment versus Deontay Wilder taking the silent treatment? So we got to see what happens. It makes it that much more intriguing. But according to Dean, This fight is still a go, which is great. Again, thank you guys. Bless you all. And all of you have been counterpunched. Peace.